Ever struggled with setting goals and achieving them? Come close, this video is for you. Hello guys, my name is Alabi Benjamin and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, I talk about personal development, growth, finance and stuff like that. In this channel, my focus is to just help people do better than they used to do, help them to grow and become a better version of themselves. So if this is what you are interested in, please do make sure you hit the subscribe button. And just like I said, today we are talking about goals. Goals. I know you set multiple goals multiple times. I've also done that. And then the pain of not achieving them, man, very relatable. So I've experienced that multiple times. And what has really helped me, a lot of things have actually helped me because, like I said, I'm helping people get better. And there's no way I can help people get better if myself, I'm not getting better. So I've been trying things. Before I say stuffs here, I also try them and see how it works for me. And one thing that has really stand out in my journey of setting goals and achieving them is the SMART framework. I know you might have heard of it before and stuff, but to set goals, you have to use this framework. It's one of the most reliable framework you can ever use. It's one of the top-notch frameworks. So first of all, before we dive into this SMART framework, what are goals? Goals is like a destination, a place you are going, what you want to achieve. See, everything in life, it starts with a vision. You have to have a vision of where you want to go to. Then after having that vision, you set goals. That's the goals is like the plan, the actions you want to take to get to that place. So that's what goals are. Goals is like the action steps you take to get to where you want to get to. So before you get somewhere, you have to know where you are going, which is vision. So the first thing you need to have a vision, a set plan, or a set, what example can I use now for easy understanding? Okay, let's say I want to go to a location. Let's say I'm in Nigeria and I want to fly to the US. The US, what part of the US am I going to? So after I find that out, I'm like, okay, this is the part of the US I want to go to. Then the next thing is to map out a plan. So me now knowing where I want to go to, that is the vision. That is the goal. The goal is to get to America. So now the plan and everything I'll do, that is where the SMART framework comes in. So let's dive into that. So for the SMART framework is an acronym actually, and the S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relatable, and T is for time bound. I know you might have heard this before. It's not something new, but then you should know the acronym now. So let's dive into S, which is specific. This specific is knowing the exact goal I want to achieve. The goal shouldn't just be, I want to be better in life. Yes, you want to be better in life, but in what area of your life do you want to be better? See, you can't just set goals like that and expect to achieve them. You have to specify, know the exact points. It's just like, where they say hitting the bull in the head. That's exactly what specific means. You have to hit the bull in the head. You have to pinpoint the exact thing that I want to achieve. That is what specific is. So that way you know that this is what I want to achieve. And you have that eagerness to get to it. And then when you get to it, you easily know that, yes, I've gotten to this. So the next is measurable. So you have to set a measurable goal. What does measurable means? That's a quiz. Let me ask you a question now. The goal you are setting, can you measure it? Okay. Let's say I want to go to America, like the example I used earlier. What's the first thing I need to do? The first thing I need to do is that I need to fund my account well so that I'll be able to get the visa. And then the next thing is to go proceed for the visa. Then they ask of all those, they are blah blah blah, give me visa, collect international passports. Yeah, that's the first thing. The first thing is international passports. So once I know that, okay, the next thing is international passport, how do I go about it? I start finding out, how do I get the international passport? Then when I get the international passport, the next thing is visa. And then after visa, I start to prepare my plane ticket and all those stuff. And then when I get there, where am I going to stay? Because I'm not just going to land in the US and start walking around. I'm not bad. So once I get to the US, I need a place to stay. I can be with a friend in a hotel, or I can rent a room, just rent an apartment. Then when I get there, I just move into the apartment. So That's just how you measure your goals. Okay, this is what I want to achieve. This is how I'm going to achieve it. That's what measurable means. And then the next is achievable. So this goal you want to set, is it achievable? Just so you won't be delulu, you won't be delusional. So you have to, like, after you say, okay, I want to go to the US, what do I need? Do I have what it takes? Do I have the amount that I will need to sort out everything? Not that I'll pursue it to one extent and then I'll hit a roadblock. Maybe I don't have enough money to fund my account and then it will be a roadblock for me. And imagine I've told people that I'm going to the US, I'm going to the US, and then they will now be like, they go again. That kind of thing. So to avoid stuff like that, you have to, like, think about it. Is this goal I want to set, is it achievable? Once you know the goal you want to set, you set a framework. Okay, this is how I want to get it. This is how I'll do. 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 And after you get all those things, what are the requirements? What do you need to all those things that you do to achieve it? What do you need in each stage of those things? Let's say, for example, I'm a graphic designer and my goal is that, okay, I don't really know how to do brand identity designs right now. And I'm like, okay, before the end of this year, I want to get one brand identity design. The next thing for me, since I don't know it, I'm like, okay, what do I need to get there? Because I need to know what I'm doing so that I can handle the clients that I will get. So I'll start working and be like, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I can do. First, I need to learn brand identity design. Then I need to practice. I need to practice for at least, before I can take client on any kind of design, I need to practice that design effectively, like fervently, daily, every single day of the week. I need to practice for like maybe a month, 3 months, depending on how broad that aspect of design is. So after setting up myself like that, the next thing that comes to my head is, okay, now I know what to do. Do I have a course on that brand identity design, or where do I learn it? How do I learn it? That's the next thing that comes to my mind. So now I know that, okay, the goal I want to achieve is achievable, yeah? And then I've set a framework to get there. The next thing is, do I have the requirements to do those things I need to get there? Which is the time to practice, the money to get a course on that particular area of the design, which is brand identity design. And trust me, in this kind of case, you can't just get one course. You have to get at least maybe 3 courses, depending on how funded you are, like how much money you have. So for me now, I can get 3 courses around brand identity designs, and then I will finish those courses. After finishing those courses, I practice, create fictional brand identity designs for at least 3 to 5 companies, add them to my portfolio. So the first client I get, I just send that portfolio to them. So it doesn't look like I'm a newbie in that part, because I've actually practiced, and through my practice, I'm no longer a newbie. So that is all for achievable. You have to know that, okay, this goal I'm setting, I can achieve it. And then you set a framework. After setting the framework, you digest those framework and know what you need to break every single part of that framework to get to where you are going. So the next is relatable. So when setting goals, you don't just set goals like that. You have to think of the bigger picture. In life, where am I going? Okay, let me just take it into my mind. Let me just tell you who I want to be in the next 15 to 20 years from now. So I want to be this cool guy owning 2 or 3 companies, a very brilliant guy with my family, kids, yeah, maybe living in somewhere else, not in Nigeria. And then I'm like, okay, this is what I want. Then I need to, of course, I have to be very rich. I cannot pass through this life without making a lot of money. So yeah, that has to be it. So now, how do I get there? Every goal I'm setting now is to be that at the end of the day, it adds something to getting to that place that I want to be. To get into that place, that bigger picture that I just said now. Every goal I'm setting, it has to be something that is taking me closer to that bigger picture. So that way, anytime I feel like I'm tired of this goal, I've been pursuing it and I'm not getting close, that bigger picture springs into my head and do you want to be this person or you don't? And I gotta be that person, I gotta get enough money. So straight up, I'm back into the game. I want to do more because I know that this thing I'm doing, it has a bigger price. It adds to that bigger picture that I have. It adds to that bigger person that I want to be. So these things, like I said, the brand identity design. So I start doing brand identity design. I get clients, they pay me money. Maybe they pay me in dollars. I don't convert this money to naira. I just invest it straight into dollar. And with time, before you know, let's say I have 2-3 clients, I charge them $100. $100 is small, but let's just say I charge them $100 for 3 designs like that. That's $300. Convert $300 to I'm having close to 500k already. Although it's still very small, but then it adds to that bigger picture, because if I want to leave Nigeria, I will need a solid fund, and me actually having funds in dollars, when I convert it, of course it will be more in naira, and you get stuff like that. So all those things, it needs to add to every goal you are setting. It needs to add to that bigger picture. When you are setting goals that add to that bigger picture, it gives you the motivation, it gives you the drive to always be ready to pursue. Like, it helps you to know that this thing is either do or die. I either do it or I do it. There's no back down. There's no me quitting. All I have to do is get this goal done. So you need to have that mindset. So the next is time bound. Yeah, time bound. You really feeling confused? Okay, let me explain. When you are setting goals, you have to set a time to achieve that goal. And in some cases, you might not have a definite time. You are like, I don't know when I'll be able to do that. Okay, let me just say, as bad as it is, in the worst case scenario, how long do you think it can take you? Let's say I want to start reading a book every day. No, I can't read a book every day, obviously, except I have the whole day to myself. So let's say in a week, I want to read 1 book. And okay, in a month, that way in a month, how many books am I reading? I'm reading 4 books in a month, about 4 books in a month. So instead of diving straight into that 4 books in a month, I say, okay, in a month, worst case scenario, I read 2. So when I set it like that, and then I increase progressively, so that way it won't just be like I'm hitting myself with a heavy load once, and then when I hit myself like that, after a little time, I get burnout and I'm tired and I can't continue. So instead of that, I start small. Okay, instead of 1 book per week, I do 1 book in 2 weeks. So that way in a month, I'm reading 2 books. So when I start like that, in a month, 2 books. Next month, 2 books. Next month, 2 books. That habit of reading will now be getting into me. Reading will now be like a part of me. So the next thing I now need to do is like, okay, now I've done 2 books for 1 month, for like 3 months. I've read 6 books in 3 months. That's nice. Now it's time to upgrade. Instead of going straight to the 4 books, no, it's still too much. With time, I'll still burn out. So instead of going into that, I'm like, okay, let me add 1 book. First week, I didn't finish the 3 books. Or first month, rather, I didn't finish the 6 books I'm supposed to read. It's okay. I did nice. Let's say I read 5. That's okay. It's more than what I used to do. So the next thing is, the next month after, how far? The next month, so just like so and so and so. This time bound, it helps you, it gives you like a time limit to achieve whatever goals you set, and it guides you to know how fast. It helps you, it motivates you to want to keep up to the time. So that's why this is very important. And in addition, let me just add some little things to what we've talked about earlier. One thing you must take note of when setting goals, achieving goals, and stuff like this, you have to be consistent. You can't just do it once and what do with goals? Don't just set goals, set systems. Yes, you want to be a better person, you want to do some stuff, and you've not really been doing them before. That's why you are setting them as a goal to achieve, and then you have to build this habit so that even after achieving it now, you can still continue doing it, even doing more than it. So you have to build systems, not just goals, because if you hit your goal, what next? Have you ever asked yourself that question? So you set systems. After you hit your goal, you set it again, and just like that, it becomes a habit and is easier for you to achieve stuff like that. You have to be consistent, you have to be persistent, you have to build a system, not just a goal. Make those goals habits, and when you make them habits, that way you've built system. You can continue doing it on and on and on. It becomes a normal routine, it becomes a normal thing to you. So that is very important. So guys, do make sure you stay productive. Just do amazing things. Bless you.